Check. Let's get the audio right. Make sure it's loud and clear. Check, check. All right, let's go over to Facebook and get live on Pump Fun. My microphone moved and it made me jump a little bit. What's up, chat? We're going to get into it. Read the title. ClaudeWar Live, Boeing and Artemis 2, Solar Storm, and ClaudeWar. That sums up. It says a lot, I think, to make it for a fun live stream. I'm just going live on all the platforms. As you know, we go live on X, Kick, Twitch, YouTube, and Pump Fun. This is seems unbelievable, doesn't it? If I didn't know me, I'd say it was as well. Oh, I gotta call my mama. Hey, Mom.
You sound really happy.
Guess who reached out to ClaudeWar, or about ClaudeWar?
Do what now?
I said, guess who reached out about my app, ClaudeWar?
Well, give me a hint.
They fly airplanes.
Boeing, not
Boeing.
Boeing. What?
Boeing. Good guess.
Big guy? Big guy?
No, you know the commercial airliners.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. They reached out.
Uh-huh.
They want to test integrations for to help with their alert and readiness. They said some of it was classified, but to email them, which you know I already did.
Yeah.
And they could tell me as much as they could. Let me make sure I'm not sharing my screen, and let me read it for you.
All right.
There we go. Not sure as of yet, but this is a highly intriguing capability. Make sure I'm not sharing my screen. Hold on. All right, yeah. I'm planning, hold on. There's so many applications. Not sure as of yet, but this is a highly intriguing capability that we would like to test incorporating into various projects we are currently working on to see if it can enhance our readiness and response times. While some of these efforts are classified, if you'd like specifics on the open source efforts we can talk about, please reach out to me directly and I'll fill you in as much as possible.
Damn right.
Damn right. Yes, ma'am.
Daggone right.
Hold on 1 second, okay?
All right.
Give me 1 second.
Go ahead.
I love you, Mom. You had a good day today?
Uh,
Have you had a good day today?
okay. I'm in the floor again.
Did you fall?
Mm-hmm.
Are you falling? Do I need to call Camry?
No. Jamie's with me. Jamie and Brittany. They went to pick up Leanne to that end. I'm just real sore. But I'm okay.
Okay. Well, just for, don't, shit, look who you're talking to, but you know what I mean? With names of people are fine, but names of locations. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, but anyway, Flying Dutch. So,
Gotcha.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, they said, so yeah, Boeing, let me read that again. They said, not sure as of yet, but this is a highly intriguing capability that we would like to test, incorporating into various projects we are currently working on to see if it can enhance our readiness and response times While some of these efforts are classified, if you'd like specifics on the open source efforts we can talk about, please reach out to me directly and I'll fill you in as much as possible. And so that was, that's from Boeing.
Do you need a lawyer?
Do I need, you know, Dad's already on it. I talked to him tonight and filled him in, so by probably 10 a.m. in the morning, the patent and all of that will be filed. Yeah.
That's when you were working on that yesterday.
Well, I got the entire, nobody can reverse engineer the platform. I got that software set up. And that's the main thing. We don't want anybody being able to go to ClaudeWar .info and being able to just straight right click and, you know what I mean, get the source code. And so that side is covered. The legality side, we're covered. But we can get more covered legally, and that's what Dad and I are going to handle in the morning. But I reached back out to them because they said, even though some of it is classified, that they could talk to me. And so that's how I'm able to say what I said, because I'm not revealing any information, and there's nothing wrong with Boeing wanting to use ClaudeWar for, what did they say, defense and readiness procedures. Right, yeah. What'd you say?
I was excited about it too.
Hold on. Say again, Ma?
Albert is excited about it also.
Yes, he is. He's proud of me, and he thinks this will do very well long term. You know how he is.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Right, that's what I'm looking for. This is going to be my bill, BIL ticket, you know?
What?
It's going to be my bill ticket, BILLIONS, you know?
Got you.
Yes, ma'am.
Woo!
Woo! Yeah.
Yeah. Did you talk to Christina?
Yeah, she's good. She's good. She's with the kids. They'll be home tomorrow.
Okay, good. Did you get the topic?
Yeah, it was just, damn, I can't think of the name now. It was something with the air. It's a valve. It's, anyway, yeah, it's fixed. It took like 2 minutes. Me and Dad got it done.
Okay, we don't go too far.
Nah, it's good. It's like perfectly good.
Give me 50.
But look, I'm gonna get on this stream. I just had to call and tell you the good news, and I'll keep you filled in as much as I can outside of any classified information that I can't share.
I can still watch you now on the stream.
Yeah, I'm on stream. I'm on Facebook, Pump Fun, X, Twitch, Kick, YouTube, all that good stuff.
You need to get your rest, okay?
I will after this stream.
Okay, well, I'll talk to you again tonight.
All right, I love you, Ma.
Thanks so much. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. What's up, chat? How we feeling? How we feeling? How we feeling? So I always have an issue with being able to see the chat from all platforms. You would think after building all of this, we'd have that covered, right? But unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm not a specialist in Streamlabs. So if you have any questions or want to ask any questions, I would say the best way to ask would be YouTube, which is at TBG_justG. Let me make sure I'm live there, or on X. And so I'll make a post on X, and we'll use that as like the Ask Me Anything if you have any questions. So I'll make that post now. AMA thread, live stream, up now. Check out my app, ClaudeWar.info. Ask any questions here in replies. That way nothing gets missed. So if you're on other platforms watching this, I'm sorry. Shout out to Elon. I'm bringing you over to X. That way I can see you. So if you're on YouTube, I can see. And if you ask in this X thread, I can see AMA thread, live stream up now. Check out ask any questions here or, yeah, here in replies. Powered by ClaudeWar and you. And let's throw the CA up there, shall we? Actually, no. Yeah, let's throw the CA up there. Why not? API access while in beta. Boom. All right, so if you're on X, all my platforms are TBG_justG. And so in the last 32 days, it's been a ride, and we still have a long way to go because I'm not done building. I will say today is the first day that I looked up from building and, how do you say, stop and smelled the roses, so to speak. So ClaudeWar.info is what you see on the globe. I would say definitely go there. It has AI analysis of everything. So let's just pick. I'm going to cherry pick here, right? So I'm going to pick an aircraft I know has a picture and looks good, because some aircrafts I'm having issues pulling pictures of. I'll show you an example. Like that. That doesn't look as good, right? But it's still AI analyzes it based on the call sign and all of that good stuff. So we are in beta API access. And what that means is this will be going public. Well, it's public now, but it will be monetized after Sunday night. So when I wake up Monday morning, the guardrails to accept payment will be the way and the only way to get access to this. Before I go any further, shout out to my grandmother. She passed away about 3 days into me building this. The reason that it turned out so well, I fully believe, is because I threw myself into it to stop from going crazy from the pain of losing my grandma. And I think she's orchestrating a lot of things that are happening now. So big shout out to my grandma. And you guys for supporting it. We had the first 10,000 user week on ClaudeWar.info. The first 10,000 users. I'll show you what that means here in a minute. Give me one moment. Tick tock. There we go. All right, so we had the first 10,000 user week. Let me make sure my mic's on. Yeah, my mic's on. Wouldn't that suck? We had that happen before. So we have an average session duration of 11 minutes and 38 seconds. That's really kind of unheard of. But look at the numbers. 5,447 plus 4,960. I'm not the best at math. I have my glasses on because I've been crying because I really miss my grandma. And it seems unfair that all of this is happening after she's gone. But I digress. I won't call it unfair. Maybe that's not the word. It just, I miss her. So I have my glasses on because I've been crying and my eyes are really red. Anyway, yeah, so these are the numbers. It's been growing really good. You know, we have a lot of growth. 778 average new users a day. 629 in the last 24 hours. You know, so. But man, I'm so grateful. Most importantly, I'm grateful to you guys for tuning in. We had a big solar flare. And again, if you're just tuning in, let me make sure I don't pull up any tabs I shouldn't pull up. If you're just tuning in, that's my app. Oop. Where are we at? This one? Nope. Yeah, so if you're just tuning in, my app is ClaudeWar.info. And I just had the biggest company so far reach out. I can't say too much. A lot of it I don't know. The rest of it that I can know, I will have to ask before I divulge it. But I know I can share this, so I just had Boeing reach out. And we'll see if it helps with their response and readiness. We'll see. They're going to work on integrating it. Shout out to the ClaudeWar on Solana community. That is the token that has funded a lot of this and made this possible. As you can imagine, this is not cheap to build, but it is cheap to use. Actually, it's free. Free to go to ClaudeWar.info. You can pull up various layers from sea, air. Are my eyes still red? I feel like they're still red, so I'm going to leave my glasses on until my eyes aren't red anymore. But you can pull up everything from sea, air, land, space, and finance. There's various use cases for this. I built it myself. Shout out to Replit for making that possible. And so we'll go to demo if you want to understand some of the use cases. I think my eyes are all right. Ooh, those lights are bright though. That's another reason I wear glasses during live streams. The lights hurt my eyes. Oh, battery running low. There we go. Cool. So this is some of the use cases, and we'll get into some fun stuff here in a moment. I'm just going over my app, and it's a web browser. You don't have to download anything. You can just go to ClaudeWar.info and have some fun. It is really fun. And so one of the visions I have of this is bringing a lot of important data layers from military aircraft to space weather to headline news, geopolitics, everything in between, sea, air, land, space, finance, and using the AI to analyze the data, using sources like NASA, NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center, ADSB, basically tons of federally funded satellites and open source intelligence, terrestrial radars, right? All of that shit sounds boring as fuck, right? But what doesn't sound boring is, and excuse my language, Mom, what doesn't sound boring is coming over here and turning on a bunch of layers and learning and seeing all the things that you can see, because these are real-time things happening. Let's see if we can find Artemis 2. Look, the sun has finally calmed down. I need to get this data layer fixed, but in the meantime, if you're looking for the geomagnetic layer, a workaround is turning on the Aurora forecast and opening that up, and it gives you basically the same things without the chronograph. And I'll work on that ASAP. I'm not sure what's causing that issue, but like I said, the only difference between what you see from the Aurora forecast and the geomagnetic storm forecast outside of the icon here, which when there's a geomagnetic storm, this isn't all chill and yellow. It actually is like dancing orange, which isn't, if you're running communications over here in the middle of a war, as you see that missile strike from Russia to Ukraine, it's definitely not fun in this area, right? And so like the storm we had earlier, and so there's several different, not several different, there's two things that happen when these things hit. So let's scroll down and look into, as you can see, that's Boeing. I feel like people don't believe, I don't feel like, I know a lot of people believe me, some people don't. Right. Why would I call my mom and tell her that? You get what I'm saying? Like, that's really Boeing. And I can only say so much because I only know so much. And when they tell me what I can say, what I can't say, I'll respect that as well. So I can only reveal what I can reveal. Those that don't believe me, I mean, I don't know. I just put it in your face. I don't know what to say. But anyway, back to the solar flare. So we had a class M 7.5. That's up there. It's not as bad as the X 1.4 we had last week. And so we aren't feeling this. Well, actually, we are, because a solar flare, we feel almost instantly. It moves at the speed of light. So that's like explosion from the sun, hit from the earth. Almost, I mean, as instant as you can get. I don't think visually, like say if there was a solar flare and it was a ball, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. It would almost look like it happened on the sun, and then in the next moment it hit the earth, because those move at the speed of light. The second thing that usually happens, and I was actually out with my family when this hit, so I didn't check if there's a coronal mass ejection with this one. That doesn't mean, just because there's a solar flare, it doesn't mean there's a coronal mass ejection. It's usual, it's common, but one or the other can happen without. So a CME or coronal mass ejection can happen without a solar flare, and vice versa. This was the one that I saw. Obviously, you wonder why it caught my eye when I was scrolling through X from my main account, is because of the picture, right? But either way, it does have consequences on the Earth. It's not an X, it's not the X 1.4 we had last week, but it is. It's enough to cause radio blackouts in certain part of the Earth, and we'll read it. It peaked at 117 UTC, and ClaudeWar was the first to report this. That's how fast my systems are. Shout out to NOAA SWPC, or NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center. That's where I pull from their satellite feeds. That's actually not open source intelligence. They're a federally funded program. But it's still legal for me to pull from there, aggregated on this map, and then sell it to enterprises like Boeing, because of the inner workings of this ClaudeWar.info. There are a lot of multinational military contractors and other things. They would love to have this, and so I have protected myself legally, and working on patents and all kinds of things as we speak. At this point, it is just me, but now my dad, who's the retired scientist, and actually, to be specific, retired chemist, but he's a scientist, and instilled the love of astronomy and science and the urge to be curious. He's the one who instilled that in me. But now he's on board. Not that he ever wasn't on board, but when Boeing starts knocking at the door, it's like, all right, Dad, I need a little bit of help, and you're like the smartest man I know, right? So now he is assisting me behind the scenes. So I have myself covered legally. I have myself covered publicly. Terms of services. If you're using ClaudeWar.info, make sure you go over the terms of services, the privacy policy, all of those things, and definitely click around on this globe. Click around on the globe and see what you can learn. And there was some debate on my X. Where were we going with this? We were talking about this. Let's finish reading this. The current KP index of 4.0. That 4.0 index was from this solar flare. But again, a solar flare is so quick, it just, like a shock wave, hits the Earth, rolls over it, over the poles, and causes a brief geomagnetic storm, and it's gone. Not to say it's any less dangerous than a coronal mass ejection. So what is a coronal mass ejection? Again, the two are not necessarily, they don't have to happen at the same time, but often they do. So the solar flare hits first, And then the coronal mass ejection, if there is one, comes after. It moves at millions of kilometers per hour. It takes, so normally it takes between like 1 to 4 days. It varies. Like the one we had from the X-1.4 really through NOAA. I always forget what it's National Association. I don't know if it's my dyslexia or exactly what it is that makes me forget what that abbreviation stands for. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. They're one entity, and then they have a same company, different department called the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association for Space Weather Prediction, or the NOAASWPC. And the NOAASWPC, they're the ones that handle they're mainly who I pull the satellites from for the geomagnetic storms and the aurora borealis forecast. And so on this app, everything is AI analyzed, and the reason for that is I want people to understand this. I feel like, and even finance. So yeah, this is all wholesome and scientific, but like, a lot of money could be made from this. I said could. I didn't say it will. I didn't guarantee anything. I can't control how you go and research how to program a trading bot and how to connect to my API and how to front run presidential announcements about declarations of war or choke point like the Strait of Hormuz. I'm not guaranteeing your capabilities to do anything. I'm telling you anything is possible, and if you put the time in, you can figure out how to use this app to make a lot of money while you sleep. I'm not guaranteeing it. I don't know your capabilities or how dedicated you are, but I can say that's not the only demographic this app serves. So with that being said, as you can see, the Strait of Hormuz, oh my God, oil is at 111. Anybody seen Landman? Has anybody seen Landman? I'm curious. So Landman, there's a really cool segment of Landman where Billy Bob Thornton, actually, let's pull it up. Let me pull it up. Let's see. Anyway, shout out to Boeing. I hope we can work something out and I can help you with your preparedness and readiness. And I think we will. I think I will be able to. I think ClaudeWar will be able to. And I think you're witnessing a mass onboarding event before people wise up, right? So let's look up Landman, because I was just showing this before I ever built ClaudeWar. Man, I was just posting it. Let's see if I can find it on YouTube, chat. But he was talking about oil, and this is a good representation of like oil, right? Landman, price of oil. And so this is like one of my favorite standout moments of Landman. I don't know, YouTube might mute me on this part. That's okay. I'll live. Here we go.
You want oil to live above 60 but below 90. And don't get me wrong, we're still printing money at 90, but gas gets up over $3.50 a gallon, it starts to pinch. It hits 100, every product in America has to readjust its price. $78 a barrel, that's about perfect. You know, it brings enough profit to keep exploring, but it don't sting as much at the pump. You want oil to live above 60 but below 90.
Right, and so let's run that back for the people that didn't catch it. And this is why the energy crisis is heating up.
90.
This is from the Landman TV show. Shout out to sourcing. I don't want to say the wrong name. What are they on? HBO? AMC. AMC. All credits to AMC. This is a clip from them.
And don't get me wrong, we're still printing money at 90, but gas gets up over $3.50 a gallon, it starts to pinch. It hits 100, every product in America has to readjust its price.
And why is that?
$78.
Oil is put in everything. It's literally put in everything. You know, medicine. You know why the oil companies is $1 trillion industry? It's because, correct me if I'm wrong, I want to say the Rothschilds, but we'll AI it or we'll Google it in a second. They found fossil fuels. They figured out a way to refine it. And the process of refining, they had a lot of leftover material that it would have been really inefficient. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I just drank some Pepsi. It would be really inefficient if they just had to throw it away. And so they figured out a way to take that leftover byproduct of the oil refining process and integrate it into various products from skincare, hair care, most importantly, medicine. In fact, I don't know if this is going to mess me up with any future licensing or deals or anything, but what, you expect people who can build things like this to be stupid? So excuse me for just wanting everybody to know truth about things, right? To anybody that may concern or concern, from Boeing to the military private contractors that are reaching out to me on, about ClaudeWar. So these, back in the 1700s, when they started refining this oil, they had piles and piles and piles of all of this byproduct, right? During the Industrial Revolution, and then they didn't want to get rid of it. It was just like leaving money on the table. The equivalent of me letting people use this app for free and not putting a pop-up down here saying, hey, it costs a lot of money to keep this going. You should help me. You can buy me a coffee or donate crypto. It doesn't matter. And all of that is in the top right on how to do that, right? By me not putting this banner there and letting 13,000+ people use this, I'm leaving money on the table and putting myself in debt, because I'm not even trying to say, hey, most of you 13,000 people are using this app for 13 minutes the same way those people are using all that oil, and their hair is looking a mess, their skin's cracked, and they need medicine, they're sick. So what did that company do? I believe it's the Rothschilds. I'm going to fact check myself in a moment, and if I'm wrong, I'll rewind it and I'll correct it. And so what did they do? They started using all the money they made from refining the oil to buy out industries. They bought out hair care industry. They bought out skin care industry. They created industry that this byproduct of oil would go into, but the biggest of them all were the medicine industry. In fact, they bought out the medicine industry so much in the Western world that they convinced all of these universities, because they gave the universities so much money. This is a lot, right? They convinced the universities by giving them so much money to get away from the model. See, America and a lot of the Western world used to operate on the model of fixing problems, not treating symptoms. But when you fix problems, you don't have a long-term customer. That's really leaving money on the table. Hey, I'm not in the medical industry. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the framework that has doctors treating symptoms instead of fixing problems. It has laboratories and things treating symptoms when they could be fixing the underlying disease. I digress. So we're back in the 1700s. The Rothschilds are like, here, Harvard, take this. Stanford, take this. This university, take this money, take this money, take this money. But wait, before the check's clear, we need you to do one thing. Stop trying to save people and focus on making them feel better. I don't know, this part that I'm about to say is speculation, but I'm sure it sounded something like, fixing the problem is hard, but it's easier to treat the symptoms, and we have the products to provide to you so you can make the products to make people feel better. Ding! And what was the byproduct of that sales pitch? Anybody know? Byproduct of that was they get to use a lot of their byproducts from refining oil into tons of new industries to sell products to people. And they don't get left with a bunch of stuff they have to throw away that they spend a lot of time and energy to pull out from fossil fuels, and they get more money. And that in itself is why a lot of the medical industry is stuck on treating symptoms and not fixing problems. It's not as profitable to fix problems as it is to treat symptoms. So yeah, a lot of the pills and things we take, they have byproducts of the oil, TLDR. Fun stuff, right? But anyway, I'm bullish on humanity. Don't let that fool you. This isn't a doom scroll live stream. I'm actually bullish on humanity over a long enough time period. I think AI is the equivalent of the Industrial Revolution, honest. And I think although things are getting messy in Iran, let's refresh. Even though things are getting messy in Iran, I think overall it's going to get better. Things are going to be okay. So yeah, don't let the doom scroll in or anything. I was asking AI, I said, it doesn't hurt if I divulge this, because you got to think, let me read the message that Boeing sent to me. And I don't want to screen share because I don't want to give up any email that, any of that info. Again, I just want to dedicate this progress that we've had so far to my grandmother. I said, I'm planning to build on top. Wait, I didn't say that. That was the wrong guy. Sorry. The message from the organization Boeing. Let me make sure I'm not sharing my screen. Nope. They said, not sure as of yet, but this is a highly intriguing capability that we would like to test, incorporating into various projects we are currently working on to see if it can enhance our readiness and response times. While some of these efforts are classified, if you'd like specifics on the open source efforts, we can talk about, please reach out to me directly, and I'll fill you in as much as possible. And so that was from Boeing. And so we'll go from there. Hopefully, I sent out a message. I don't know if you guys remember, if you follow me on X, but the first big company that reached out to me was not, they're a more private military and AI analytics firm. I would put it in a different class. I still want the licensing deal and the revenue, right? So I'm having to walk a line of, hey, this is really happening, and I can't say too much, right? But they weren't an American company. And so that was this post that I put out where I tagged the president and Eric Trump and all of that. Let me find it. Give me one moment. Where's that? I basically pleaded with American companies to reach out, because the nature of technology is if they don't. Oh, I see what is happening. There we go. I know I got to stop vaping. I'm too smart to be vaping. All right. Where are we at? Maybe I'll just type American. And just to be clear, I have a wife, I have kids, I have a home. I'm very money motivated, but I'm American first. So this was just a courtesy two American companies, and I said a defense contracted AI firm just evaluated ClaudeWar.info via pre-production access attempts. We welcome it. Government and military, and by we I mean I'm a one-man show. Government and military contract, except for the ClaudeWar on Solana token. They have, if it wasn't for this token right here, who knows if I would have been able to pull off the funding. I got a wife, I got kids, I got bills, I got a house. I've put a significant majority of my energy and out of pocket expenses into building this. This isn't 12 days old. This is just when it came off of the Pump Fund platform. This is 32 days. So it's been 32 days of day in and day out, building. Let's see, I'm reading some of the comments. So the user stats are public. If you go to ClaudeWar.info/press, you'll be able to pull that up, and I'll pull it up right now. So we are at 774 daily average visits. In 30 days, we had 23,220 visits. Unique visitors are about 13,000. So that means the majority of our people are returning. Our average duration between all 23,220 of those visitors. And so I'm answering questions in the cryptic Discord from people who have been very disrespectful, honestly. I hope that they find a way to heal the hurt in their soul that causes them to be so cruel and so negative and so rude to people they don't know anything about. But you gotta understand the things that I have going on, from my grandmother's passing to companies that I dreamed about working with, reaching out. It overshadows anything you can say to me. But genuinely, in my heart, I hope that whatever piece of you that makes you want to be cruel to me and discredit me, I hope you fix that, because I think the world will be a better place if everyone doesn't go around being negative to each other. And I've said it since the day I was in tech 5 years ago. It's free to be nice to people. And I'm sure this is hard for some of you to hear, especially the ones that are listening to this and taking the time to listen to the person they say is crazy and is making this stuff up, right? It's very hard. That's okay. That's okay. I wish nothing but the best for you. But one, it's free to be nice. Two, we're all people behind these computer screens. A lot of you hide behind anonymity. I know, I did it for a long time. But you're still a person. Just because you don't show your face or name, I recognize that. You're still a person and you still have feelings. I don't get off on triggering those feelings. You hear the way I talk. I'm sure you can gauge my intellect. I'm sure you can gauge, I could figure out how to really push your buttons, and you see by my actions that I don't. And so we're going way off somewhere I didn't want to go. But yeah, so ClaudeWar.info/press. I accept apologies via email or Discord messages. DMs work too. But yeah, back to the topic at hand. Where were we, chat? Where were we? Oh yeah, so ClaudeWar.info, man, it's really been, so I think what has happened, and this is what I've really try to capitalize on is there's a gap in the market where I call it the old guard. And it is like companies that have led the way. Like I wouldn't exist. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I wouldn't have a basis point to do what I'm doing if companies like NASA and NOAA and ADSB, and let's take it all the way back to the company that really inspired me, which was Live UA Maps, because it was one guy from Ukraine that built that, right? And that's what inspired me. Like, if he can do it, I can do it. And so any of those entities that existed way before AI and way before us that required software engineering, and like, there's people I've met along this journey the last 32 days that could like map this out, right? They don't need my interactive globe to tell you that the sun, the subsolar point of the sun is right here. So if you were, and that's how accurate ClaudeWar.info is. So if you were in a boat right here off the coast of an island that I don't know how to pronounce, southwest of the Philippines, you would, if you look straight up into the sky at a 90-degree angle, that's where the sun would be. And so there's people that work for those companies. Again, I call them the old guard. Because without them, I wouldn't be doing any of this, even down to the military flight paths, to, reported missile strikes, to Israel shelter alerts. A lot, they had to run so that we could sprint. And so I don't take anything that personally to say I don't tolerate this or I don't tolerate that. But when I see things on X about people, being really like offensive or attacking entities like NASA or NOAA, it hits a spot in me, because we wouldn't even be speculating on the things that we speculate. We wouldn't be building with pinpoint accuracy on the things we build with pinpoint accuracy if it wasn't for these companies. So to attack them is to lose credibility yourself. With that being said, I've noticed a lot of things. I'm not a specialist. I'm just a resourceful guy who's very obsessively dedicated to building the best product I can build. And I see things that are inaccurate. One thing is the KP index. The KP index, I think, is ClaudeWar and NOAA, and look, you see the alert from Israel going up. That's all real time. So currently, if you're in Israel, you just got an alert on your phone that missiles are incoming. Where? I'm working on that. But I don't know where, but I know they're incoming. I know that if you're in that part of Israel, from where I am on the east coast of the United States, if you're on this part of Israel, you just got a message on your phone that missiles are coming. How did I learn how to do all of this? My brain and AI. So shout out to Replit for that. Replit, what's their motto? Let me Google it before. What's this? Yeah, I can go there. Replit's motto. Damn, it was easy to find. Where is it? Let's see what's being showed now on my screen. Oh, nothing. What about if I do this? Anything come up? No. Okay, you can see Replit slogan, yeah? Um, where is the Replit slogan? Ideas to software fast. There we go. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. So a lot of what's happening that's allowing me, who has no, I'm not a software engineer by any stretch of the word. What I am is, again, I'm resourceful, I'm dedicated, obsessive a lot of the time. And so I know how to figure things out. I mean, my motto is like by any means. And so a lot of these companies like Palantir, a lot of these things that ClaudeWar is compared to, Palantir being like one of the highest valuations, I guess. So that's why it rolls off my tongue so easy. It's because Replit, things like this over here, it's so new that these companies haven't, I don't know if accepting it is the right word, integrating it is a good word, but they still are relying on like software engineers coding line by line, and more these software engineers are integrating the same things, but they also don't have the ideas that I have. There's a whole nother layer to this. At this point, if you go back to my earlier streams, you may be able to catch it, but I don't really care so much to show the process. But I will say that, so the gap between ideas to software is frictionless now. And a lot of those companies, they have a lot of bureaucracy, they have a lot of friction, even with knowing, and past that, now ClaudeWar has a jump start of 32 days, 31, 32 days, going on day 32. So all of these 50 plus data points, from finance to market pulse to crypto to space weather, asteroid, fireball, solar events, the ISS International Space Station track, reported missile strikes, shelter alerts, military flights, all of that good stuff. We've logged it for 32 days, and this isn't to be cocky, this is just to be a fact. So I will go as far as to say you can't, now legally you can't reverse engineer any of this. If you do, I can hold you accountable to the fullest extent of the law. Technically, this isn't a challenge, but it's also not easy to technically reverse engineer this at this point. So not only do you have legal things to worry about, now you have technical hurdles to jump across. In fact, those same technical hurdles were the reason that our mobile device usage was so low, because it was blocking a lot of mobile devices because of just a part of the, without going, I don't want to go into detail, a part of the anti-reverse engineering technology I was using was blocking mobile devices. So I had to fix that, and as soon as I fixed that, our mobile usage doubled. So that was a lot of people that would have preferred to use mobile that didn't, and then they were just using desktop. That says a lot. But so all of this info can be found at claudewar.info/press. So let's go through all the things, and let's fully, I'm going to open my screen all the way up. Can you guys see? No, hold on. We're gonna get it right. Give me a second. There we go. So I'm gonna reference something from the community. So all of this was built in 32 days. So we have ClaudeWar.info/demo. So the main site that's free to use, you can go to ClaudeWar.info. I see I need to, okay, we have the live demo there. So at the top, you can find all of this, including, again, this is pre-revenue. So there is no revenue. So if you use this and you're one of the 23,000, or what was it? Let's be specific here. If you're one of the 13,000 plus users and you've been contributing to the average session duration of 12 minutes and 25 seconds, which is like Bloomberg terminal level, just know I'm not making any money off of this as of yet, and it does have high costs. And even $1, right? $1 helps. Anything helps cover the overhead. In the meantime, I got it. But it makes my life a lot easier, and it makes it so I don't have to put up paywalls. If nobody helps out, then everybody has to pay. And that's just the reality of it. I have a wife, I have kids, I have bills. I think anybody can understand that, right? And so there's multiple ways to support, and it's all in the top left, from the ClaudeWar on Solana token to donating across various cryptocurrencies to debit or credit. So let's go over that. So we have ClaudeWar.info. You just click any of these layers and you will be able to pull up the real-time geographic GPS accurate locations of, from ships and harbor off of Monaco to aircraft over the United States. We have street level zone to the track of the International Space Station over the globe. And let's tune into, I wanted to do this live. Let's tune into Orion live. Let's see what they're talking about tonight. And you can do all of this without leaving that. Damn, they're asleep. So they're United States-based astronauts. But let's scroll back and see what we can hear. There we go. So all of this is in the app. You don't have to ever leave the app, and that's part of the reason why I made it. Because everything was so scattered, and I had to go to this place to see military aircraft. I had to go to that place to see, right when the Iran, United States-Israel conflict started. I had to go, I couldn't get any real-time data at 3 a.m. in the morning one night, and that was the basis of this. The name came from when Donald Trump banned Anthropic AI from federal government and gave every government that was every entity that was contracted with the government 30 days to get rid of them. I thought the irony of Anthropic AI being used to guide missiles and their artificial intelligence used to surveil during wartime. I thought the yin to the yang of using it to create a life-saving system, I thought that was art in motion. And so that was the inspiration, and that's where it all began. But let's go to a point in time we can hear them talk. Sometimes they go dark when they sleep. They cut the live feed off. This is a live view of Orion on the Artemis 2 mission. Let's see if we can catch, oh, there's the moon. They're very close. That's another planet, I'm sure. We'll jump in on somewhere they're talking. Were they quiet all day today? Maybe. Maybe they're resting. Hey, I wouldn't blame them if they were. Normally you could hear, you see how fast they're moving. So this was 9 hours ago, and then you saw what it looked like 3 hours ago. That's just a few hours. I mean, they're traveling extremely fast here, folks. The volume is up. I'm trying to see if I can hear any communications, but yesterday we heard a lot. Oh, that's frustrating me. I wish we could hear them talk.
Kicked off because we didn't configure for cycling software.
There we go.
Cancellation.
Oh,
But we will get it right.
I got it on double speed. Let's slow it down. That's Christina Koch. Christina Koch, that's her voice, and we'll slow it down.
Future burn cancellations. In a good attitude now, and saws are safe.
All right, we appreciate that honesty, Chris, and give me about 2 or 3 minutes and we'll be going for exercise.
We copy.
All right, let's rewind it back a little bit.
Integrity. We are now go for exercise.
Okay, they're doing
For your
exercise. Let's move it back
information,
just a little bit.
Read is go for exercise. We are configured.
Okay, let's move it back. Actually, you know what? I'll let you come to ClaudeWar.info, turn on the Artemis 2, but to end the stream, we'll come over here to a clip I found yesterday. I think this is it. Yep. And so this is a good example. Their PWD system, or portable water dispenser,
has 50 data layers, range
was broken, and so I caught a clip of that and got to present it to you guys real nice like. Oh no, computer is overloaded. Yikes.
ranging from ground intel to space weather, financial
Let's
intel.
watch.
But right now we're focusing on Orion, and you just turn on that layer,
Now we're ready.
and a card will pop up, this info card with AI analysis, and a live feed of NASA's Artemis mission control. You'll hear the conversations between them.
The original call was about the PWD.
And here we are.
To let you know that after doing a fill, we have been having to wait 30 seconds minimum so that when we remove the water bag after closing the valve, there's not residual water coming out of the dispenser.
So their PWD
We've
is
just been implementing that as a workaround to wait that 30 seconds, but wanted to let you know both for your awareness and also to see if there could be a workaround.
that is not good.
Okay, copy the report. Let us talk about it. We'll let you know.
They currently have a leak.
Hey, Christina, a follow-up on that. Can you describe how much water is coming out in that 30 seconds, and also is it just trickling, dripping, or is it more of a steady flow for a little while?
So this is not good.
Hey, Mark, we will take a video, but if you remove a bag after closing the valve prior to about 30 seconds, a steady stream of water continues to come out, and it might be just a little less than what the standard flow is, but it's definitely a steady stream.
So they're filling their MREs, they're
Okay,
drinking
copy.
water.
Thank you.
And to be fair, I've never actually seen the full bore what it would be if the valve were open without a bag on it, so I can't compare, but the stream.
So that's mission control for Artemis 2 and Christina Koch. Christina Koch? Christina Koch. Excuse me, Christina. I don't know. She'll probably never hear this, right? It'd be cool if we ever met, but I digress. She's on Orion, which is the name of the spacecraft that they're on. They're doing a flyby of the moon, and this is comms or communications between Orion and Artemis 2 mission control.
Is steady and maybe about 1/8 of an inch wide.
And all of this is viewable on ClaudeWar.info.
Okay, thank you. Copy. Give me a guess of how much volume it ends up being.
Someone who thinks that what it is just a line's worth of water, maybe it's just empty.
And so their PWD or portable water dispenser system has a leak in it. From what I could gather from just the same things you hear, it doesn't sound like it's like super out of control, and you'll hear her say it later, or I may have clipped that part out, I'm not sure. I had to make this, I got to condense it without messing up the information flow, but also allowing the full picture of what's happening and presenting my platform, right? But it's a very thin leak if it is, but the complications, it's not like the complications of your sink on Earth having a leak. And this, I'm having trouble thinking of the word, but Orion, it's not you can't say, it's not a space shuttle. It is a pod, basically. It's a pod. And so this portable water dispenser, PWD, releases water, and it lets them hydrate their food to eat. It's drinking water, and there's like a leak on it that's just going out into the pod. And so in zero gravity, the water, like, it doesn't drip. It floats, and like it could come in. It's not, I don't even want to say these things. I want, I want them to have a successful mission. And so far, it seems like it's not so bad, but it's a very real danger, and it's something that's happened. This was yesterday, within the last 18 hours.
Can't say the volume because we always just stick a bag back on it quickly to stop the flow and then wait longer. So don't have a strong, easy answer for you on that one.
That's good enough for now. Thank you.
And so let's pray for our astronauts, Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen as they are aboard Orion. They are about 156,000 miles away from Earth as we speak while we're comfortable in our beds. And let's check out the solar weather while we have it up. We'll go back down to space weather and turn on the Aurora forecast. And so KP 1.3, things are quiet. The Aurora forecast looks average viewing. Still some leftover. It's a little far south than normal, but not as much as last night. Hopefully things continue to go smooth and they get that PWD fixed.
And so on that note, I will say two things. One, TikTok and Instagram for ClaudeWar is made, but I haven't rolled it out yet. So in the meantime, come over to X. As you can see, these posts are going out while I've been talking to you. That's the AI agent. So these are automated posts pulled from various real live sources. Tomorrow, maybe we'll talk about what this thing is right here. It's pretty cool. It's not normal. It's abnormal. We may be able to see it in the daylight. So maybe we'll do a live stream outside on my deck like we did a few months ago and see if we can catch this thing. That would be really cool, right? But keep your eyes to the skies. Keep love in your heart. Grandma, I love you. I appreciate you keeping your hands over me. I feel like you're orchestrating a lot of the success that's coming to this platform. You know, same thing I told you before you went. That note, I love y'all. Eyes to skies, love in your heart. ClaudeWar.info. Shout out to the ClaudeWar and Solana community. I love y'all. Y'all have a good night. Peace.